Okay, recording has started. Okay, so today we're going to talk about opportunities in command. And this is a class that I really haven't done before because usually I'm talking about the getting paid with command, which you also use a little portion of the opportunities section with, but it's not the entire opportunity. So I'll let you track your sales pipeline. I'm going to click into what's here. And so the opportunities, it's the system that we use to track our current and potential transactions within Command. As I mentioned before, some of you might use it only to submit your paperwork, but there's a lot more that you can use this for. So the pipeline, the sales pipeline, when somebody tells you that they might be interested in buying or selling, you should create an opportunity right away so that you can track the progress, and it'll also show you your potential and probable income. Okay, sorry, had a call, cancel it. So creating the opportunity is easy, and I'm going to go over, I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to go to my command. So when you have an opportunity, even if you've used this just to submit your paperwork, you know that you have to have a contact first. So the easiest way to do this really is either go to their contact record or create a new contact record for them. And I'm just going to go to me, my alter ego me that we know that I use to test out pretty much everything. And so here's my contact record. And over here to the right is opportunities. So this is the really, really easy way to do it. Create opportunity, click on that, and it opens this nice little form. So it'll have your market center in it. In pretty much all cases, we're only affiliated with one, so we don't have to change anything there. If you're on a team, it may ask you to select the team name. I can't tell you for sure because I'm not on a team. There's listing type. So it defaults, opportunity type. It defaults to listing, but click through here and identify what your opportunity type is. So if I leave it listing, I'll kind of show you what changes in this. The fields that you fill in are somewhat context sensitive. So it's going to have your client. And since you selected it from your client's contact record, it already has that person in it. If you have a co-seller, and again, this is listing, you can identify that person, and you want to have them in your contacts also. So then you have your opportunity name. By default, it's going to make it into the name of the person and what type it is. One of the things I know that Noelle, our MCA, likes is if we put in the address first. And this might make it easier for you too. So just put the address before that. And that's kind of the way that I like to do any transactions. I can find it by the address. I can find it by the name. I can find it by what type it is. So you've got all that information in there. Custom tags. Don't worry about the tags. Once you learn more about tags, you can decide if you want to do some. So I do have some custom tags identified for opportunities. One I have tagged as multiple offers. So when we're doing the getting paid with command, I'll click into that so I can show you how you can do multiple offer comparisons within this system. But tags are totally up to you, if you want to use them or whether you want to use them. Estimated close date. Okay, so say my alter ego says, okay, I want to sell my house. I want to list it in July. And so let's just put an estimated close date of September 18th. Estimated listing price, commission rate. So this is one that kind of gets people, and I'm going to say that actually I'm going to peak on the listing 6%. And then the opportunity phase. So if I'm putting this in at this point, I'm going to do cultivate. And I'll show you the phases. We'll get into the phases in a little bit. And then, so here shows you 3 of the phases. If you read ahead a little bit in the Conquer command, you'll see that there's 5 phases, and we'll go into those. So I'm going to say I'm still at cultivate because I'm not ready to sell yet. And my opportunity stage, I'm still at watch because I'm not ready to go yet. And then create opportunity, but I'm not going to do that just yet because I want to show you how these change. If I put in an opportunity of buyer, it's going to change some of the questions to things that make sense. So of course I just messed this up. So my opportunity name, if I had buyer, would have been whitest buyer. Estimated close date, time frame. So this is a buyer. When are they looking to buy? So I could say 6 months. What's their budget? Okay, so say I'm looking for 150,000. Okay, commission rate on a buy is going to be, of course, 3%. And then your phase there, again, cultivate and where you're going to start. I'm going to go back to listing just because I want to show you some more things along with that. And we create the opportunity. And here it is. Oh, I changed it. I changed the commission rate, didn't I? But okay, so you have the opportunity sitting here. I'm now starting to recommend to people that this is where they make their opportunities. You can do it in another spot. This right here, the little hands here are opportunities. And I can click into that and I can create an opportunity. And this is my pipeline, by the way. But if I stay in contacts and I do it this way, it's going to keep me from making what I've seen a lot of people do this week, because I've been helping a lot of people. They've made multiple opportunities, say for their listing, because they said, well, but so I'm listing it and then I have a buyer. So they're making multiple opportunities, but the way that the system is set up, you don't do that. You have the person that you're working with is your contact, and they're the ones that that you care about. So you just want to make sure that you have one opportunity there so you don't get confused. Anybody have a question on that part? Let's just go click into it then. So then, again, the easiest way to get to it is just hit here. And so here's the details from this. So this is what I filled in when I created that opportunity. Here's a seller worksheet. I don't usually do much of anything with that. One of the things that you're going to want to do before, and this goes into the getting paid with command, you want to make sure that you have the property address in there, because otherwise you won't be able to do your commissions on this. So within this, you've got your details, you have your seller profile. So you can see that I'm registered with a consumer app. Okay, the guide. I've never actually gone into this part. Here's your documents. So when you're ready to list it, you go into this portion. Here's listed. This is where you submit your listing paperwork. And you've got the nice checklist all the way down here. So you can, it tells you what it's looking for. So you can add the files. And again, I'm going to go into that more in a different class. And then here in the listed opportunity, you have under contract. So this is where you put your offer paperwork. So you don't create another opportunity. You keep you keep both the listing and the offer together in here. And this is what I've seen a lot of people doing. They've gotten confused and they created a buyer opportunity in addition to listed, and put their information in the wrong spots. So sales pipeline, let's see, let me make sure I'm kind of on track. Okay, so we're in the details. Okay, so sales pipeline. So I just put myself into, this is the sales pipeline. And I just put myself in here in the cultivate. So here I am, right here. Now, these are the phases that I'm talking about. We have cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and closed. You have those same phases for the buyer side. Then within those, you have stages. And one of the things we're going to be talking about in a little bit is being able to edit and make the stages what you want or need them to be. I have modified mine, so I'm going to go to a clean account that I also use, so I can show you more about how you do that from the very, very start. But so here's my opportunity. If any of you have ever used Trello, this works very, very much like Trello. So some of the things that are notable here is you're going to see a percentage here, up here at the top. What those percentages are, and again, those are totally editable, are what's the probability that you're going to get past this stage, that you're going to close when you're at this stage with this opportunity. And those are used, you might have seen, and I'll flip back there, the probable and the potential income, and it helps to calculate those. So once that I'm ready to go to sell my house, all I have to do is drag it over here. And okay, so now I'm ready to go. And then I've said I'm ready to go. Okay, so now we've got an appointment. And so I'm going to drag it to appointment. The nice thing about this is you never have to put that information in multiple times, and it's all tracked through your command. So now I am in get ready and update info. And this is not what yours looks like. I've edited the stages because this is the way I do things. So here I have my listing. I'm in the get ready stage. And here you'll see there's a checklist that I created for this. I don't do a lot of checklists, but for this, it made sense for me to do that. So I'm going to click into that. And oops, let me go back. And I'm going to go look at the checklist. So here's the checklist that I created. And this is the way I do things. So I created a seller net sheet and paperwork. So this is what I get ready before I go to my listing appointment. So this is just to remind me, what am I going to do? I create the MLS input sheet and fill it in with any information I can have. That's the one thing. I don't print a whole lot, but that's one of the things that I will take with me on my appointment, so I can show the seller that I've been proactive. I've got a lot of information on their house, but then they can also help me fill the MLS input sheet out with the correct information. I'm going to search for listings around the house, and we'll export that and print so that I can take that and show it to them. I'm going to print out my marketing plan. I also have a thing that says, you have too much stuff and let's make your house sell faster. So those are a couple of documents that I put together. The too much stuff talks about different places you can donate things. Now, make your house sell faster is inside and outside. Here's some things that you can do. I put it all in a Keller Williams folder, and I bring a copy of a 3-ring binder and flyers that I've done it as an example. And so I can just go through then and check those as I get them done. And then it's going to tell me, okay, I've got 3 of those 6 items already done. So now I've gone on the appointment. And so all I have to do is move that over. And I now I need to update the information based on what I learned at my appointment. And here I have a checklist. I'm going to update my my MLS input sheet, and I'm going to ready the balance of the contract information, of the contract documents. And you can have, okay, how many days before list date? And so that's my process. And then when I turn it active, I'm just going to drag it. Sometimes it doesn't like to go into the face. There we go. So we're now active. And so now if we go and look at the sales pipeline view, what you've got is I can see how many people I have in each of my phases here. And by the way, the closed information, the closed ones just stay there for the month. I had 2 closed ones this last month, and today's the first day of the next month, and they're not showing there anymore. So if you use this as your sales pipeline, you're going to see here that it calculates for you your potential income, which this is the income from everything that you have in your sales pipeline. If you closed all of it at the amounts that you suggested. Let's see. So this, you know, I don't think it does. There's some updates, some new things. Okay, so Lisa's asking, does your checklist automatically make a task so that when you go in every day, it has a task showing up? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. One of the things that's going to be added to the checklist is that you're going to be able to set up notifications to be sent out. Okay, Christina says, thank you, Christina. No, it doesn't. If she assigns a task, it doesn't seem to send out a notification or show up to the other person. So I'm sure that's some of the stuff that's being worked on so that it will do that better. And I think it's probably coming in with this next thing. You're going to be able to identify emails and things to be sent out to clients. to let them know what their status is on a weekly basis. And I don't have the full details on that, but it's supposed to be coming really, really soon. So possibly at that point, the tasks will show up for you guys too. This probable income here is the income based upon those probabilities that you identified in the stages and where things are. Okay, and Christina says, yep, there's a transaction smart plan. Okay, I haven't checked that one out yet. Thanks, Christina. Did you say something, Christina? No, okay. So if I go in though, so if we see my probable income here, and now I've changed, and I go in here and I move myself into under contract, It didn't change. Okay, I would have expected my probable income to change, and maybe it takes a little bit of time to update. But that's what those are for. Any questions just on this portion? And you can see the activity, your ratios. Closing this month, of course, the list is empty because I have nothing currently closing this month in May. Okay, so I just went through, the pipeline is made up of these 5 phases, and you have the same 5 phases pretty much for listings and buyers. They're exactly the same. For leases, they're a little bit different. They have a pending. I don't do any rentals, but you can definitely take your things through leases also. And I showed you about the tiles that they can simply be dragged through the process, and talked about, just keeping myself on track. Each stage has a percentage assigned to it, and you can customize that. And that's the probability of the opportunity actually closing once you're at the certain stage where you are. So I'm going to pop over to this other account. Is pristine, hasn't been changed. So we have a demo account within the Market Center. So this is really the first time I've used it for a class. So let's go through the customizing pipeline. So we can just go into your opportunities. Again, this little 2 hands here. Go into what you want to work on. And one of the things I put in the Conquer command is kind of work this out on paper for yourself. What are your stages within each of these phases? And it takes a while to get used to phases versus stages. Phases can't change, stages can. Stages are customizable. So here in listings, the default ones that you guys have, if you haven't changed them, are watch, nurture, and hot. And the probability that's been assigned is 5%, 7%, and 10%, respectively. Within the appointment, you have a scheduling, scheduled, kept. You remember that I reduced mine just to 2 steps. Under active, you've got a bunch here. You have staging, which, okay, staging you should have done before you turned it active. So perhaps that's one that you might want to move to appointment. And again, these are just here as defaults for you to use if you don't make any changes. Then you've got showing, you have negotiations, legacy makes no sense here. That is, I believe, for old dot loop transactions. It messes everybody up, and I wish it would go away. Actually, maybe I can make it go away. And then you have under contract. So your escrow, your inspections, your appraiser, your financing, your clear to close, possibly those don't fit you either. So closed here. So what I suggest you do is, sit down, figure out, okay, what is your process? How would you want to change these to show your process? And all you have to do, once you've identified that, is go here to edit stages. And here's those stages that are identified. So you can very easily move them up and down, change the order of them. If you like what's there, you can, here's your checklist. So if you decide you want to add checklist items, you can go here and just click add item, and you can add them one by one. You can delete it. So if it's a stage you don't like, delete it. And you don't have to use it. So say if you somewhat like this watch, but you want to change the probability. Now, depending upon where you get the people that you're working with, if they're people that you know, your probability is probably better than 5%, right? If you're working with your sphere of influence, most likely you're going to get that deal. If you're buying leads and you have to convert them, that's another story. You go in and change, you can change the stage name if you want. You can change the probability to whatever works best for your business. So this is really here to help you with your business, not what Keller Williams says exactly this is what you might do. So let's say I'm going to make this into a 10% probability. I'm going to save it, and the change is there. So if I want to put some checklists in there, I can, let's see, what would I do on a watch? Call every day and be very annoying. Oops. And then, so you can add checklists until the cows come home. Write a letter. And once you have multiple checklist items in here, you can easily drag them up and down and still modify them. So now I'm going to save on that one, and I have 2 checklist items. Yes. Yep. Lisa says your watch could be your campaign. Absolutely. So again, make this your own. It's easy to modify it. And so let's say nurture. Okay, so I'm way past 7% if I'm already at 10% on the watch. So I'm going to modify that. And then I'm going to say, okay, when I'm hot, I'm at 50%. So then if we go back to this, you can see that my probabilities have now changed. And that, where did I put the, so same process as you're going through phase by phase, you can absolutely identify your own stages. If you want to, see, let me go back to add a stage here. If you want to add your own, there's this add stage. And you know what? I'm going to you can just delete this legacy because it really doesn't help anybody and it messes a lot of people up. So you can delete that out of there, and you can add a stage. Again, if we want to go back to mine, I've simplified the appointment phase to just 2 stages, as opposed to this had a scheduling, scheduled, and kept as the default. I've made it 2 stages because that's basically my process, and have put my own probabilities on, where the default ones were 10%, 20%, and 30%. And again, depending upon where you get the people that you're working with, you're going to want to adjust your percentages, your probabilities to support the type of business that you do. So I'm looking to see if there's anything I missed. That is basically what I had for today. Does anybody have questions? You want to see something else? And yes, if somebody else can answer the questions that people have, that's awesome also. Thank you, Christina. And Christina manages, yeah, she manages a team. So they use checklists to a greater degree than I do, because I'm me. So I put checklists in the 2 appointment stages, but I haven't put checklists anyplace else.
Chris, do you want to show them how they could?
I've kind of got my process down. But
Chris, would you want to show them how they could assign an opportunity to a smart plan for like a campaign or something like that?
Actually, can you do that? Can I let you present?
I can try.
Okay, I haven't done that. So that would be awesome if you can do it. Okay, I'm going to stop presenting.
See.
I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, so I have like a million tabs open. So so let me like pull it up so that it's ready to go.
Okay. Okay. Helped out the other day with the campaigns, the paid ads, which I thought was awesome. So if any of you missed that, go back and watch the recording. It was great. 2 different people walked you through their entire process, and they talked about, you know, what's worked for them, what hasn't. It was a great class. And I know if you had been on my campaigns class before, I told you I haven't actually done one. So I got some people that had, and
so
very, very happy.
So some bad news. The opportunity smart plans have disappeared.
Oh,
they're there, but you're not able to click on them anymore. So they must be doing work on those.
Oh.
So like, okay. You know how I was talking about the transaction and stuff? Like a couple days ago, I could access those smart plans. I can't access them now. So they must be doing.
You know what? I'll bet since they're working on the functionality so you can do emails and things to them.
Yeah. So they're gone. Unfortunately, I can't like show you how to attach one to an opportunity right yet. Okay. Okay. But so now you guys know that there is that possibility. And there's also going to be, looks like, listing plans that you can attach eventually. That's another thing that's showing up here, but it's with the big red circle cross out, so I can't click on it. And referral plans.
Right, right. Yeah, so those, just like you have for the people plans, you'll be able to select them from the library as they're there.
Yeah, not yet, but they're coming.
Yeah, so perhaps they'll be there by the next Smart Plans class.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? So when you have, again, I'm going to go back to the, okay, when you're ready to do your paperwork, and I'm not going to go all the way into this. So I showed you how when you do listings, you've got the spots in your documents for listed and under contract. That's where you put your documents that you're going to provide to your MCA. If I go to a buyer one and click on that, so let's say, so here's your buyer. When you click on the documents, okay, consultation, I wish that could go away. I know here for our office, I put a do not use this. So things that could possibly go there if we really wanted to use it is your agency disclosure, your buyer agreements, things like that could go there. But then if you submit them, then the MCA is going to have to look at those too. So we just have those included in.
Hey, Chris, I think you need to share your screen. I think you stopped sharing your screen.
Oh, I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I did do that.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me go back and see if I can get what I said. Oh yeah, and that wouldn't be on the recording either. So thank you for that. Okay, so listings. Okay, so if I go into my listing and I look at the documents, there's a spot for both listed. This is where I put the documents when I list them. And we all know that you're supposed to submit your listing documents within 2 days after the time that they're listed. And then there's under contract. And you want to submit your under contract listings, your under contract documents right after property inspection has cleared. That gives your MCAs enough time to get the commission statements out to the attorneys, etc.
So if you had multiple offers, where would you store those? I mean, is there somewhere under offers? That makes sense.
Yeah. So, well, actually, let me finish one thing, and then I'll show you some more, since we've got a few minutes left. Okay, so let me go to the buyers now. That was a good question. Okay, so if I go back to the buyer that I was talking about, here, if I go click on the buyer, if you go to the documents, you'll see that the only thing here is under contract, and you'll submit your documents here. And so it makes it real easy. In the getting paid with command, I'll go more into how you can use DocuSign to help you with this, but that's not what we're talking about today. Okay, so my sales pipeline. So I'm gonna go to all opportunities and I'll show you, okay, so I had my tags. I said I had tagged one that was multiple offers. So this is a good example. So here I click into this here in the office. So I entered all of the offers that I received. And even if you only have one offer, you are going to be entering your offer in here. But this gives you a nice way to compare your offers. So, okay, I've got this set of offers. I'm going to hit select all. and we're going to do a compare offers. And so this gives you a nice view of, okay, here's what their offer price was. How much was cash? How much was financed? What was their earnest money? Option fee, I haven't figured out what the heck that is. Termination notice, I use that as the attorney approval date. And a few of these I just added in, they're kind of junk ones. Offer date, closing dates. So those are things that you would want to share with your seller. And there's, you can add in summary information. So this is great for if you're doing a multiple offer scenario. You can just put this in here and then you can download it or you can email the offer comparison. For this particular opportunity, this wasn't there yet. And so I put all of this information into a spreadsheet, and my seller was in a different state. So I sent him the spreadsheet and I made it so he could actually look at all of the offers. But man, if I had had this functionality at that point, it would have been so much easier. Does that cover that?
Yes, thank you. That's nice.
Cool. Yeah. So within, if you go into opportunities, if you click on all opportunities, there, everything that you've put in here is here. You can search for them by address, by opportunity, okay, by assignee. So assignee makes sense if you have a team scenario. Who the contact is. So this is another way of getting into your opportunities. And you can click through them from here and you'll get to the same information. But it's a great tool to help you keep track of everything.
Also, just to note that without entering in an offer, you won't be able to access commissions. So you
Correct.
have to have an offer in there in order to do the commissions, which is replacing green sheets.
Yep. And then the other thing that you have to make sure you have, because it gives you a stupid error message if you don't, and you won't have any idea what it means, make sure you fill in this property address before you try to do that. And depending upon where you are in the process, it might say, hey, you can go select a listing, or you can just click in here and enter in the address. Start entering that in, save that. Without that, you're not going to be able to submit either. But yeah, so just a little preview. So for those of you that have done green sheets, this is so much easier. So this is one that was a recent closed. So I put in the offer information. There's not a whole lot that you have to put in. It's already filled in with your, just go to add a new offer, create offer. So you put in the offer date, the close date, search for a location. And then, or here you could select from KWLS. Here's the party, so it's already filled in with your contacts information and with yours, and you just, all you need is the seller, their name. You can see just the little red star there, and the other person. Blah, blah. Now I'll just make this into Lisa Watson. And then, okay, the terms. This is the one thing I hate. If it's financed, you can't put in your sales price and let it figure stuff out for you. You have to split it into what's the cash versus the financed amount. So if you've got a 20%, fill that in, cash, whatever. Here's your earnest money. Deposit option fee you saw, and I said, I have no idea what this is. And then this is what I'm using for attorney approval. This would be if you had the seller purchase a home warranty, and this would be any concessions. And then you've got your agent, oops. I'm not going to finish this one. I don't need to do this. But the agent analysis is where you saw in that multiple offer that I had a summary and a pros and cons. That's where you fill that in. And then it's going to look kind of funny. It'll have rather than the change response here, it's going to say accept offer. Once you hit accept offer, it fills in your commissions for you. And you go in and you finalize any pieces. So it's already got the information that you had identified previously. If you had, say, a referral type thing, you can add another agent into it. If you want to make donations, you can put them in here. It's going to calculate, this is what you're going to get. You hit submit, and it's into the office. Way, way, way easier than doing the green sheets. So that's a little preview of the getting paid with command. And it is 9:58. And I'm going to close this down. So have a great weekend, guys, and we will see you on Monday for, what am I teaching Monday? I think I'm back to contacts. So come back Monday if you need more on contacts, and I'm always happy if people have success stories to add in on, this is what I did and wow, this worked great. So hope to see you guys on Monday, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, bye.